Okay knitters, your top 10 last minute gift knits and crochets starts right now. Stay with me. Hello, I'm Jane, I'm the Cornish Knitter and welcome to my channel. This video is about those last minute gifts that we all sort of find ourselves having to sort of make really quickly when an unexpected gifting occasion arrives. Could be Christmas, could be Thanksgiving, could be birthdays, could be anything. But I asked you in my last video to tell me what your favourite last minute gifts were for making, and yet some of them surprised me, some of them didn't, and I'm here to share it with you now. So I hope you enjoy this. As I said, this is voted for by you, but some of them I've already got anyway, so I will try and show you them along the way. So these are in no given order. I've just done them sort of just the top 10 as in whatever order I decided on, and I will have to keep referring to my notes. Some of them I've used before for when I did my mindful knits, and some of them are completely new. So if I've got samples here, I'll show you, but if not, I've got my iPad, trusty iPad here to pop it up on the screen to show you an image, and I will try and either put them in the notes below in terms of the patterns that I've mentioned, or I will pop them in the titles that run across the screen, depending how much time I've got for editing this. So let's start with hats. Hats were a really popular choice, and what I found by asking this, a lot of people didn't necessarily always name a pattern, but they just said hats. I would knit a hat for somebody. And unsurprisingly, I think the top one, and it was one of the mindless knits as well, so I'm hoping I don't lose this, is the Musselburgh by YsoldaTeague. As I said last time, I've not knitted it. I know it's a massive favourite with people. It might take a bit of knitting. It's a 4-ply pattern, and you know, if you've got a spare skein of 4-ply yarn, it's a great way to use it, and yeah, people love it as a pattern. One of the other very popular ones that was mentioned was the 2x2 hat by Gagnon, I think she's called, and it's a worsted weight yarn. Her hat is like this. I'm going to show you here. Her hat's very basic. It's a free pattern, I believe. As I said, worsted yarn. But we have our own version of that here in the shop, and it's called the Watchman's Cap, and it's a 2x2 rib. So I thought this is our own design. It's knitted in, we've knitted ours in and make Aaron. I think if you've watched me before, you'll have seen me wearing this hat. It's super cozy. It's a really simple one to do. It takes one ball of make Aaron by the Fibre Company, and I don't wear hats often, but actually I quite like a Watchman's Cap because it sort of comes here. It's not sort of down here, so I think I like it because I can see my hair a little bit. Vanity. So another hat that got mentioned was called My Baker's Hat by, now I'm going to say my writing is awful. I scribbled this down. I think it's Erin E. Russell. Again, it's a worsted. So it's a basic hat pattern, but instead of a rib, it's obviously a rib around the head and then just plain knitting. And that again is done in a worsted weight yarn. Nice, simple, quick knit. Can't really go wrong with a hat, can you? And another one that is really popular here in the shop, and sort of a number of people had sort of contacted me to say that they'd knitted this one, and it's hugely popular. And it is knitted by, or the pattern is by Comfort Road Knits, Nikki of Comfort Road Knits, and it's the Famouth Harbour hat. Now this is cabled, and it's a slightly more complex cable, but this is super popular in the shop. I'm going to attempt, but I'm going to really muck up my hair here, aren't I? So you can wear it up like a Watchman's Cap, or this is how I really don't like hats. Ooh, covering my head, or covering your whole head. But this is knit up in the fibre company Cumbria. I would say you'd need to be a confident knitter to knit this one, but again, super quick to knit up. I knitted about 5 of these last Christmas as Christmas presents myself, so I know there are loads of hats, but that's just to give you some examples and to mention some of the ones that you mentioned. Another one that's hugely popular, and I think a couple of people mentioned this, is a beret. So this beret is the number 3 beret by, oh, what is it? I'll put it up below. Can't remember the company. It's a really well-known company, and why can't I remember it? Age. I don't wear berries. I don't know how, this is a bit big for me. So this is 1 ball of chunky yarn, and then it's felted. I thought it had the little nipple on the top, but can't see that at the moment. But berries are super popular, and again, that is, I think that got knitted up in 2 hours, and then you just felt it by washing it in quite warm water and sort of agitating it a bit. And that was I think that's 1 ball of West Yorkshire Spinners Retreat chunky wool. It's a roving, so it's perfect for felting. A number of you mentioned dishcloths, and I'm going to try and pull up. Now dishcloths, for me, well, you can crochet them or you can knit them. I mean, if you can do any stitch, do you need a pattern? Probably not. You can just create your own version of a washcloth, whether it's crochet or knitting. But if I was looking for a pattern, the place I would normally go to, again, trying to hold this up without disturbing it, is Pearl Soho. They have masses of patterns for knitted washcloths, really nice ones. When I was looking earlier, this particular one caught my eye, which I really liked. I liked the scalloped edge on it. Obviously, if you're making a dishcloth, washcloth, do make it in a fabric that you can wash at 60 degrees so you can get rid of any bacteria. So 100% cotton would be ideal for that. And there is, a few of you mentioned the waffle stitch washcloth, and there is a free pattern on Hobby, Hobbii, if you really want to follow a pattern. But I think they're pretty easy to make them yourself, sort of make them up yourselves. Number 3 is mittens. So there are a few suggestions here, but generally, again, it tended to be you like to knit either fingerless mittens or mittens. Didn't really particularly name patterns in there. The one pattern that did get a mention quite a bit, and it's no surprising, it's by Petite Knits, really, and that was the penny glove. Again, I will pop this up here. So a nice simple pattern here. It's a 4-ply yarn, I think, I did write it down. Oh no, it's a sport weight yarn, but you could do them in 4-ply. I'm certain you could do those in 4-ply. Really simple, thumb with a gusset for the thumb, hardly any ribbing. Probably, again, would knit up in an evening. If you really wanted to make them, you could make them out of a really luxury yarn as well, which would be lovely. In the shop, we have 2 sets of mittens that are hugely popular this time of year. What we find in the shop is that we really sell out of small item kits quickly, and linked to the Famouth Harbour hat that I showed you earlier by Comfort Road Knits, Nikki designed a matching set of mittens, and these are fully enclosed mittens, so really keep your hands nice and warm, plain on the back, but with that cable design on the front. Super pattern, again done in worsted. This is Fibre Company, Cumbria. I'll put one on so you can see what it's like on. So really beautiful mitten. So that is really popular in the shop. Colour work mittens are very popular. I know this is one that I've knitted. I know this one is really popular too. It is the Millet by YsoldaTeague with the, and what I liked about this one is you do like the ribbed cuff, and then this is sort of folded over. I think I pulled my tension a bit tight here. So I've lost a little bit the white bit. It's the only place I must have been tense when I did this, but I love these mittens. The pattern says they're sports weight. I knitted this in Baramu Pip, which is similar to Jameson's. It's a 4-ply. It's a really great, they come in 25-gram balls. You don't need very much, so it's a really economical knit as well. I think we sell a lot of the range of colours. I think it takes probably 3.5 balls, and they're about what, £4.25 each. So super knit. Really enjoyed knitting these, and I just said I love that sort of detail on it. The other one that we can never keep in stock for kits, again, and this is a little bit more complicated, is the Underwing Mitts by she is Erica Hirsa. I don't know if I've said that right, but these are super. We've knitted as in John Arbon. I think we've got some kits in the Pip as well, but this has been a super popular pattern for just anybody that likes colour work. You know, it's stunning. People love it, young and old, and yeah, we've seen so many of these knitted. So I know that that's a popular mitten pattern, and I'm sure there's lots of, well, I know there's lots and lots of other versions, but fingerless mittens in particular seem to be popular. Number 4 is a shawl or a scarf, unsurprisingly. I should mention that this is another Comfort Road. Nikki does a lot of designing for us here in the shop. This is another Comfort Road Knits pattern. This is the Porthallow Cowl. If you go on to Comfort Road Knits on Ravelry over until the 4th of December, I think she's got a discount code on her patterns where she gives 20 or 25% off. So if you do like her patterns, go on. She's just released an amazing sock pattern called Stargazy Socks too. So quite a few of you mentioned a number of shawls or shawlettes. Shawlettes seem to be the most popular choice for last minute gift knitting. You know, it doesn't use much yarn. They're fairly simple to do. We know we can sort of get one made in double quick time. So one of the ones that got mentioned the most was, and these have got a couple of labels on because we've got them in the shop as samples, was the pressed flower kerchief pattern. We've got them in a couple of colourways here in the shop. We did have it in a third colourway, I don't know where that is. This one we decided to have a little play with the yarn, look, and swap them over, as are done in Mrs. Moon Plump DK. This is a free pattern by Amy Christophers online. It's a super pattern, really enjoy knitting this, super quick to knit, and a lot of you mentioned that one as one of your favourite quick knits that you make up. Quite a number of you mentioned our Seabreeze shawlette. You've seen this before, so this is a really simple pattern. It's on our website. This one is done in 4-ply. It's an 8-row pattern, very, very simple to do, sort of TV knitting, mindless knitting, and yeah, a lot of you mentioned that, and it only takes 1 skein of 4-ply, so a great choice. As did a number of you mention our Polpero knit as well. Oh, I just dropped my book. Just looking for which, I don't know if you remember, 1 skein of double knit. It's just a simple garter stitch with an I-cord edging, and either end it's got this little point. It's a super little scarf to just wrap around your neck. This one is done in 2 colours, and we did it a bit longer, so we just joined 2 colours in the middle so you can ring the changes with it. But that's that. A lot of you mentioned that you'd done that one and really enjoyed it. I think that's a great little knit. if you want to knit something super quick and you've got a spare skein of double knit yarn. And of course the Sophie scarf. I think Sophie's scarf was probably the most popular choice. I've knitted multiple ones of these. Super simple, garter stitch, I-cord edge again, straight one side, increase up and then decrease down. You could do it in virtually any weight yarn, I think. And then just depending on how much you've got, just knit to the middle, weigh your yarn, and when you're halfway through, well, just before halfway through, start decreasing. And very British saying there, Bob's your uncle. You've got a really great gift. And I know it was super popular with so many of you. Unsurprisingly, Petite Knits featured very highly in your lists. Who else? Oh, another one that popped up a few times was, and I've got a picture of it because I haven't knitted this, but I can see why it was popular, was the Stay Toasty scarf. Oh, I haven't got that, by Victoria Lundberg. I haven't got an image of that for some reason. I thought I'd got an image of it, which was very popular. And I found this one too, which was the Tol Khan scarf, which I quite like that crossover detail. Again, a double knit with sort of a waffle stitch. And that's a free pattern on Ravelry by Steph Thornton, which I thought was a really nice, quick and easy one to knit up, again with double knit yarn. So a really good one to choose. Number five, a lot of you mentioned hot water bottle covers, and yeah, if you like a hot water bottle, it is so lovely to have a knitted cover or gift a knitted cover. And you can get the little mini bottles now, can't you, which are sort of yay big, so if you don't want to, you don't have to knit a huge one. And Laura Penrose of Penrose Knits, she's done two great patterns. She's just released one, and I need to check what it's called. It's called Winter Warmer, and this is a 4-ply pattern, colour work pattern. I think she's just released it, and it's a lovely pattern, and she's done it in the 2 sizes. She's thought a lot about the shaping of it. And her other one that she released, I think it was last year, was the Maxine hot water bottle cover. Again, a colour work, sort of more of a sort of stranded colour work design, again in the 2 sizes. I think there's some kits that go along with this, but both fabulous patterns. If colour work isn't your thing, again, Pearl Soho have got Warm Wishes, which is a very plain stocking stitch hot water bottle, probably a free pattern online, but it was obviously a really popular gift for you guys to make for people, and probably you buy the hot water bottle to go in it too. I do love a hot water bottle, particularly if you're feeling a bit poorly. There's nothing more comforting, is there, than snuggling up with a hot water bottle, or if your bed's freezing cold, just popping one in where your feet are going to go so that you feel warm. Cows, another one, again, small projects, really good. DRK, the DRK Everyday Cow by Andrea Mary was mentioned quite a bit. This is our version in the shop. 2 colours, we use just a variegated bright colour and a plain colour. This is a double knit version. The back is like this, and then you pop it over your head. I won't put it on now. You pop it over your head, and then the point is just at the front. Actually, it does quite well with this sweater, doesn't it? I think it's got an I-cord top to it, which I think this could have been a bit looser. It will go over my head, but it could have been a bit looser. But fabulous, fabulous pattern, really easy to do. Who doesn't love a stripe? They're always popular, aren't they? And one that's really popular for us in the shop. This is again by Steph Thornton. She's local to us actually, and this is called the Sandy Shore Cow. So a super little cow, which is quite good for summer too. We do have these two colourways in the shop. This is Sandy Toes. Can't remember what colourway this is called, but a super quick, nice little gift to wrap up and hand over to somebody, summer or winter, I think. And one other that's very popular is, again, by Amy Christophers, and you know, her pressed flower range has always been popular, and the pressed flower cow is no exception. We have done this in a variegated and a plain. It's a really nice cow pattern. These patterns are all mosaic colour work, so if you're not confident with stranded colour work, mosaic colour work is a very sort of easy introduction. It's seamed, so I don't know if you can see the seam here to join it, so really easy to do because you're just knitting forward and back and then you join it at the end. So cows were up there at number 6. That's a DK again, I should say. A number of you make toys, not just knitted but crocheted, and several of you make the Claire Garland toys. So the frog, oh, I'm reading down onto the floor, so forgive me. The frog, oh, how cute is the frog? Claire Garland has got multiple animal patterns, but her best known is this little frog. Probably not good for tiny children. This has got safety eyes on it, but shouldn't be given to children under 3. We've got lots of her animals here, but I particularly love this one. He's the badger. It's got sort of wiring inside it so we can sort of manipulate it and shape it. But these Claire Garland's patterns were voted for quite a lot by you. If you're a crocheter, I think most of you will know of the company Toft, who makes some great, she publishes, Kerry from Toft publishes some great pattern books, and she does some great kits. This is Seth the sheep. I mean, he takes quite a bit of yarn, but oh, isn't he fabulous? I love Seth the sheep. I've also got Father Christmas, whoever it is, Christmas. These are a lovely gift as well. Or she has flowers, she has fruit. Oh, look at the carrot. Quite good if you're gifting somebody that's moving into a new home. You can make them some vegetables or some fruit to go in their kitchen. So those are really popular. I just got to show you this because I showed you Father Christmas, and I have to lift him heavily. I did make his head. He's looked as if he's had one too many sherries, doesn't he, with his hat over his head. So this is the chunky version in the shop. I've got him in Aran too, so I've got him in double knit, chunky and Aran. He's hugely popular in the shop. Children love to come in and give him a cuddle, but this one is quite a crochet. You need to, he's quite heavy by the end of it. Other suggestions were the animals done by Moosh and Friends, which that book here, I don't know whether she publishes the patterns independently, but it's by Cynthia Valet, and a number of you like knitting those as little gifts, particularly for children. So a very popular book, and I've seen some fantastic versions of that. In fact, I've put some yarn aside to maybe cast on one of those over Twixmas. It's one of my cast-ons for myself. What is it about grown women that like toys with clothes and changing their clothes? I don't know, but I enjoy it anyway. And a lot of you liked knitting gnomes, and this is probably one of the best known sort of gnome designers. It is Sarah Shearer and the Gnomes of Grimblewood. You can buy individual patterns, but this book is fabulous, and they make great gifts if you're gifting around Christmas time, but any time too. I think a lot of people really love making them. I know several people that whip these up so quickly and yeah, just really enjoy sort of making these gorgeous gnomes. So toys were high on your list of gifts to give people. Then of course socks, you know, you're talking to probably somebody who's a total sock addict here, so you're singing the same hymns as I am if you vote for socks. The good old vanilla sock, hugely popular. Why wouldn't it be? You can get, you know, just one skein of yarn. It could be a beautiful yarn. You could get self-patterning yarn. Vanilla socks, so easy to do. You can play with them, and we've got some in the shop here. So, you know, self-striping sort of yarns. This is by West Yorkshire Spinners. One with a heel flap and gusset. This has got a short robe heel, but super easy to do. This is just a striped version, probably go that side, a striped version. Actually, the patterns for these are all free on our website, just vanilla socks, and this one's called the Coronation Sock. But socks are really popular to do if you're into knitting socks. The other pattern that got mentioned quite a bit was the DRK Everyday Socks by Andrea Mowry. These are a toe-up sock, and you work the heel construction, and you increase for the heel and then do the heel flat, so you work it the reverse way around. Online on our social media last week we had a sock week, and we talked about whether people were toe up or cuff down sock knitters, and I did a poll, and about 80% of people said they preferred cuff down, but you know, I like to do both. And if you're knitting from the toe up, it does sort of help you avoid that sort of yarn checking to know whether you're going to run out of yarn. However, I've got quite small feet, so either way, I'm pretty confident with one skein of sock yarn that I'm going to be okay. So that is the DRK Everyday Socks. So socks, great gift, good for men, good for women, good for children. Who doesn't love a pair of socks? Closely aligned to socks were slippers, and I've seen an awful lot recently of the, I'm just trying to get into my iPad so that I can bring it up, of the sailor slippers by Annie Sews. I think they are super bulky. I'm just going to pull them up here because they've disappeared off of my screen. Forgive me a moment, I'll just pull them up so I can show you them. They're a stripy sock, stripy slipper, and I've seen an awful lot of these online recently. So it's that pattern there, super bulky, as I said, and she's called Annie Sews on Etsy, and on Ravelry she's called Annie Germain, and it's super bulky, knitted on 8mm, it is knitting, isn't it, 8mm needles. I've seen crocheted versions of these as well. I don't know what they're called, but I have seen crocheted versions. Another popular slipper sock is the Esk by Kate Davis. These are them, a little bit of cable on them. Really sort of a popular, easy to knit, quick to knit, and I think that's a double knit. And on our sock club we did a slipper sock pattern. We've done a couple of slipper sock patterns. I've got these clipped together, but these are the Bramble slipper socks. So again, I think this was, forgive me, it was a while ago. I think that's a false cable down the front, and the heel, you start here. So you start with Judy's Magic cast on, you knit the heel flap, you put half the stitches on hold, and then pick up stitches and knit down the foot to the toe. And once you finish that, you come back, pick up those stitches that are on hold, and then just knit the cuff with an I-cord bind off. But these are super popular, and they are called the Bramble slippers, and we sell a lot of our old sock patterns and kits as sock boxes, and this has been one of our really popular ones this year. I think for number 10, I think I've sort of virtually exhausted all the small bits and pieces. I mean, there are people sort of ones sort of said about bags, and maybe a small blanket, but a small blanket is quite a big undertaking, isn't it? If it's really last minute. So my last suggestion for number 10 was actually gift them some yarn and they might come back and ask you to knit something with it. So you could always gift somebody a skein of yarn that you think they like, and then ask them to choose something that you could make for them after the event. And maybe they would enjoy that a bit more. So yeah, just gift them some yarn and take away the stress of having to knit to a deadline or crochet to a deadline. So I really hope you've enjoyed that gamble through your top 10 last minute gift knitting ideas. I think we've got you covered. If you've got to knit something in the next few weeks, I hope I provided you with some inspiration. In the new year, I will be doing a whole series of top 10 videos inspired by your choices. I'll be reaching out to you to find out what you suggest are your top 10s under a whole different host of headings. And I've got lots planned on YouTube in the new year. Coming up to this time of year is it's a sort of reflective time for me. So I will come on and do a separate video about what's been happening in life, what my knitting's doing. I always like to cast on something new over Christmas, which is just for me. It's not for the shop, which is very, very rare. So I'm still deciding what that's going to be, and I'll share that with you. I might do a little review of what I've knitted this year. I'll see. But I hope wherever you are, you're having a lovely day. I hope I've inspired you to get those needles or your hooks out and get making. And I will see you again very soon. Bye for now.